Hi and welcome back. In today's video, I want to go through a little bit of insights of what I know and what I see as a real estate agent. As you know, I love looking at numbers and figuring out how the market is doing, other by than feeling the market, and thinking about what buyers or sellers are doing to figure out how the market is. I like to look at statistics and numbers because I'm a number girl and I like to know about the data and what is actually going on behind the scenes. And so today I want to share with you all the things that I know that's happening behind the scenes, and maybe these numbers can help you guys figure out and of course have more confidence in the real estate market, in Toronto's real estate market, and see how it's actually doing and how it's actually performing, right? So let's dive right into it. And so there'll be a few charts that I'll be sharing with you. And the first one I want to share with you is, so this is May statistic, as you can see right here in the corner. May statistic. And this talks about all the homes that are sold in certain price ranges, right? So there are detaches, there's semis, there are townhouses. And what I like to look at when I look at this chart is that, here we go. Detaches, of course, detaches that are sold above 2 million. Now, why do I want to look at homes that are sold above 2 millions? Well, these are very expensive homes. And if people who are buying, multi-million-dollar home have that much confidence in the real estate market in buying homes, then that's pretty good indication to me of what people are thinking about how the real estate market is in Toronto. Right? And so it looks like here there has been 554 homes that are sold above 2 million in May this year, right? And you're like, well, just that one number alone may not kind of give you a certain insight. So what I like to do is also I like to compare. So there's 500 homes. Let's see how about other homes. It looks like we sold more homes that are above 2 million, more than this group here, more than this group here. And looks like, and more than those group here. So it looks like a lot of people are buying above 2 million, which indicates to me that people have a lot of confidence in the real estate market. Now let's kind of compare it with other months. So this is April of this year, right? And let's see how people are buying real estate in above 2 million here. So above 2 million, again, 712 homes that were sold above 2 million, which is more than homes that were sold here, here, and here, right? So it looks, and actually here too, that's right. Okay. So again, right, if there are buyers out there that are buying above $2 million home, and there's a lot of them, that kind of gives me a little bit of a clue that people are confident in buying real estate in this time. And one more comparison I like to look at is if I compare it to last year, right? Last year of May, right? It wasn't such a crazy market. Well, it was kind of crazy market, but we didn't have the really, really hot market. Like, for example, the 20 offers on a property, 40, and then the very low inventory. We had a hot market, but not like a steaming hot market. And at that time last year, in May 2021, it looks like we had 719 homes that are sold over 2 million. Now, keep in mind, last year prices was a lot different from this year prices, right? It was in May, right? And yet, there were 719 homes sold over 2 million, more than this, and more in this range, and more of these price ranges, right? So last year, it looks like the market, they were pretty confident. And the same says for this year. I don't know if I can move. There we go. Same says for, this year in April and this year in May. Yeah, this year in May. There we go. Right? And so that just kind of give me a little bit of insight of, okay, so this is what's been going on in the market. So let's move over to this chart here, and which I like to look at this chart is how many days it takes to sell a home. So this is, again, it's about all the homes and areas in the Toronto Real Estate Board. And this column here, let me make sure that you can see it pretty good. Okay, there we go. in this column here is average days on market. You know how when homes are listed and then they cancel and they relist again? It's because they couldn't sell or whatever it may be. And so their days on market is a little bit longer than if you were to list it the first time, right? The first time you listed on the market, let's say 4 days, and you sold, then it's 4 days. But if you listed on the market 4 days and you decide to cancel it and then relist it and then sell it again within 5 days, your total days on market would be 9, right? Because that's how long it's been. And so I like to look at that number. It kind of gives me a more real sense of how long it actually takes to sell a home. And so for last month in May, it looks like in the Toronto area, GTA area, it was 18 days to sell a home, right? Which is good, which is a very healthy number. You know, homes shouldn't be selling in 2 days. That's a very unhealthy number to be selling a home in 2 days, right? Doesn't give buyers a lot of chance to take a look at home. That also means that wherever that has 2 days of listing, 2 days of days on market means that you don't have enough inventory, which then prices are driven up, which is great for sellers, but not so great for buyers, right? And it's not a sustainable market. You don't want a market like that too hot all the time, because then, for example, the correction might be a little bit bigger. And it's just not it's not sustainable. You can't be having 20% increase month over month. That's just not a healthy market, right? And so that's what I like to look at. If we can just review some of the numbers, there were 7,000 sales last month, 7+ sales last month. The average price for the GTA is $1.2 million. What else I like to look at? We currently, inventory-wise, have 15,000 homes available for sale. This year, months of inventory, meaning that if no new homes came on the market, how long will it take us to, absorb everything that's currently on the market, and which is 1 month. And that means every house would be sold if no new homes are coming on the market, right? Another interesting thing to look at is the sale price. Now, this is good to understand, especially if you're selling in this kind of market, or also if you're buying. How homes are being sold compared to what prices they're listing at, right? And it looks like in month of May, a lot of homes were still selling over asking. So because it's sold at 103% of asking. Now, does this mean that a lot of buyers are buying in one home? It could be. You could be having a multiple people bidding on one home, or it can also mean that a lot of listing agents are using the below market pricing to attract the buyers to come in. You may just have one buyer, and yet you'll still sell over asking because the listing agent purposely listed it low to attract more of the buyers. So if you're listing in May and you've kind of done this strategy, it looks like it works for you, right? It looks like it would have worked for you because things are mostly selling, over asking. Always like to look at what are not kind of the trend. So here we have things selling at 99%, which is in Oakville. So if you are in Oakville, it looks like you're more likely to sell if you were to just list at asking or listing at market value rather than doing the strategy of below market value and then kind of creating a bidding war on that. What else is good to be looking at? What else I like to look at? Let me just look at the numbers here. It looks like, if you can see, there is one area that is doing a few actually, 108, and 108%. So this area here, let's see what areas is actually still going a little bit hot. It looks like buyers and sellers are still in the phase where listing way below market value is helping them sell a home. And so that area looks like it would be, I think it's Durham. Yeah, I'm correct. It is Durham region, right? So again, if you're a seller in Durham region and you're thinking about selling, you're like, oh, well, how should I list my home? Well, these are a good indication of how you would list your home in order to get it sold. And of course, you would figure out, you'll be on the market for 15 days in total. Okay, so those are the numbers I like to look at, that I like to review monthly. This chart comes out every month, and I like to keep an eye, I like to keep a pulse on the market to see what's going on. Okay, and so the last chart I want to share with you, is it the last? Oh, no, it's not the last. The second last chart I want to share with you guys today is I like to look at, of course, graphs and how things are doing. This here talks about the average price since 1970 until today. and I like to look how things are trending and how healthy and how the market's doing. So if you look here, when prices are kind of going, a little bit out of control, of course, it will correct itself, right? And so your path would still kind of be like on this, oops, let me see if I can do this correctly. Here we go. Kind of like this path, right? Oh, no, let's do that again. Like this. There we go. So that the red line would have been a healthy way to healthy increase for the real estate market. But you can see here, this little here kind of got a little bit out of control. And so it corrected itself and it came back on the right path that it should have been doing, right? So same thing for here in 2000 and I guess 8, when I guess the states were having their little bit like not a little, but they were having a recession, and so that affected the mentality of the buyers in Toronto too. And so you can see that it dipped down here just a little bit, where it actually should have gone like this, right? But it went under what it's supposed to be doing, or a healthy increase. And so it corrected itself and it came back up, right? So there is a trending line and of a healthy way to increase prices in Toronto. And whenever time that there's a little bit of not following the trend, the market does correct itself and come back to terms, right? So you can see it here for the first kind of correction there. The price was too high and then it came back down, and then so it continued on its path, right? Same thing for here. It was going good, but then it did a little bit dip. Okay, let me just see if I can get rid of this. So it was going good, right? Healthy wise, right? It should have done that, or, excuse my drawing here. Should have done that, but it did it. It went like that, but it came back up and continued on its path, right? And so in 2017, which is this mark here, 2017, and by the way, that's when I bought my home. I bought my home like right about there, right? At the tip of the market. And then as soon as I bought it, my home became $100,000 less than it was. Well, it doesn't really matter because it's a home to live in and not a home to sell. And so even though there was a dip, I just continued to stay in my home, and, didn't really affect me because now my home is probably around here somewhere, right? And hopefully anybody who's listening to this who bought in 2017, you could understand too that even though you bought at the peak or the peak, some people bought their homes here, right? And that's okay because look where you are now. If you didn't sell, that is. So in 2017, again, it looks like the healthy trend, if I can draw it properly like that, right? That would be like looking like a healthy trend. As you can see my lines here, excuse the mess if you can read through the mess, I promise you it's very helpful. So the trend line here for me, I believe it should be something like this red line here that I have here, okay? It should look something like this. So in 2017, we were kind of, getting off track there. But don't worry, the government stepped in and introduced that foreign tax, and there was a little bit of stress test was increased. And so it brought down the market to where it's supposed to be, I guess. And now today, it looks like it's going up again. And this is probably where the 1% interest rates popped in. And so we gone a little bit about crazy there because everything was so cheap to buy because it's only 1% interest rate, 2% interest rate, right? And of course, during COVID, there wasn't a lot of people selling their home. There was less inventory than we should have had in a normal year. And so that kind of created this kind of super, super crazy hot market where there was less inventory and then low interest rates. And so we kind of went this way, right? Let's get rid of some stuff so you can see what's going on here, right? There we go. So yeah, so I feel that the market should have been doing something like that. Again, excuse the mess. And instead of doing that, we went that. And so most likely, or what we're going to see in, I guess, in a year or two, that it will probably correct itself and then go like that or something like that, or, similar to this, right? Hopefully it does that because that's better than this. Market stabilizing instead of dropping. But I believe from what I've been seeing, right, prices has been dropping just a bit. And so it's probably so it should probably go down like this and then go back up. There we go. Well, that's my prediction. Looking at past history trends and how the market corrects itself and then, continue on its course upwards. And so you're also wondering, Susan, why is it continually going up? Looking at the whole chart, like it's going off the chart, right? So if I change my color here, so maybe that would be a little bit easier to see. Like, is it gonna continue to go up and up, and off the charts? Like, how far and how high will it go, right? Well, let's take a look at some factors that could be that is affecting this kind of trend of upward swing and the price increasing, right? So yes, supply and demand is a big factor in real estate for the pricing, right? And if you take a look here, we did a little bit of brainstorming. And we are looking at immigration. Immigration is one of the biggest factor that will affect housing demands, right? Everybody coming to Canada will need a place to live, and also our growing population, our kids moving out, and people are expanding their family. We all have to house our own population plus immigration. And so if we just take a look at immigration alone, here we go. Let's just take a look at immigration alone. It looks like 1.2 million immigration will be at the end of 2024, the program that they had in place. And so there is about, I would kind of focus on this number here. Where is it? So there is 90,000 regular immigration. That's about 30,000 people coming to Canada per year. And 40% of people go to Toronto, the GTA, right? Not Toronto, the greater Toronto area. So Mississauga, Durham, all around there. And so if you take, 40% of all the immigration, it would be like about 480,000 people moving from other, moving into the GTA. Now, if you do a little bit of a calculation, and let's just say there's about 3.5 people per unit, right? So if we take this 480,000 people divided by 3.5, it means that we're going to need about 140,000 units just to house immigration, right? Just immigration. And let's see here. And also we are going to look at, in the time that 140,000 families, immigration families are coming, we only have about 120,000 units that are currently being built, right? It looks like we're a little bit short just for immigration alone, let alone that all those family who have, kids who are going to university, who buys condos for them to live, kids who move out and move to a condo because they are moving out on their own, people who are buying condos for investment for their kids. We're not even talking about that kind of numbers. We're only talking about immigration here, and we are already short, right? And so the result of it is that the demand for condos and housing is still there, and it's actually not enough, right? And I want to take this number a little bit further. If I can just grab my calculator here. So if we need 140 units, and let's just say in a condominium that's being built, I would say on average they have about 350 units per condo, right? So if we just take 140 units that we need, 140,000 units that we need, there we go, divided by 350 units per building. Let's see how many condo buildings we actually need to build. All right, okay, hold on. 140,000 divided by 350 would give us 400 condominiums, right? Let's just say that the government decides, or builders decide not to build 350 units. Let's say it's 500 units. I like thinking out loud and looking at numbers. So hopefully this kind of something that you guys want to look and watch, and let me know if this is helpful for you guys. I like thinking out loud and scribbling things down. So at 500 units per building, we would have to build about 280 condos to house all the immigration people, right? That's
That's insane, right? I was at let me just go back here. I was at a seminar yesterday talking about pre-con. And in that seminar, there was one point we were talking about how many cranes are in the air, how many homes or how many buildings or projects are currently being built, right? And it was said that there were about 208 cranes right now in the air in the GTA area building homes. 208. And if you can see a minute ago, we needed 280. So we are kind of short on housing. Of course, not everybody's going to live in condos, but I know there will be freehold that are being built. But freeholds are not being built as fast as condos, because once one condo goes up, you can house about 400 families, right? And so that's my intake today about the condo market, insight today about the condo market, about, what's affecting the condo, not the condo market, sorry, about the real estate market, what's affecting the real estate trends, and taking a look at what could happen about pricing in the near future and how the pricing may correct itself and then go back up. And so that's what I know, and that I love to share with you guys what I know so you guys can have a better understanding of what's actually going on in the real estate market. So that's all the information I have to share today, and I'll see you guys on the next time when I find a lot more information and insight to share with you guys. All right, so bye for now.